We're going to talk about how the 40-year era of predictable, steady corporate leadership has essentially been completely shattered.
That world, it's completely gone. If you're leading a company today, or you're planning to step up and lead one soon, relying on that outdated playbook is going to literally ruin you. The leap from the 1990s to today is, frankly, massive. A CEO back in 1995 basically operated in a pretty predictable world where the main job was just optimizing a machine that was already humming along. But a modern CEO? You're operating in a fragile world where the machine itself is being completely rebuilt while it's still running. So the lesson here is pretty brutal. When the music stops, every single nation and company just grabs the closest chair. Modern leaders have to plan for self-interest. You've got to build in redundancy and qualify those backup suppliers long before anyone starts to panic. Okay, shift number 5, rehearsing the unexpected. This means preparing for the shocks that definitely aren't on your risk register. But the truly terrifying events are the ones totally missing from the risk register. The genuinely great companies build up the muscle memory of responding to surprises before they ever actually happen, by running tabletop exercises for exactly these kinds of off-the-wall scenarios. To actually prepare for this stuff, you've got to run what's called a pre-mortem. Fast forward 2 years in your mind and imagine the company is in serious trouble. It uncovers those terrifying blind spots, the hidden cultural and operational risks that your standard financial dashboards completely ignore. By mapping out who makes what decisions and cross-training your leaders in advance, you build relationships and trust that you literally cannot summon out of thin air in the middle of a 5-alarm fire. Finally, we arrive at shift number 6, the first 90 days. Let's look at some actionable advice for the 86% of first-time CEOs out there. So stepping into the top job is a massive crucible. And the temptation to come in hot and make big, bold moves on day one is, well, it's overwhelming because everyone expects you to. But don't do it. Instead, stick to these fundamental rules. Spend your first 90 days just listening, not making grand announcements. Remember, speak less, but speak better. Literally every word you utter is now a press release. You know, the whole core of this new playbook really boils down to one idea. Tough times don't actually call for tougher leaders. They call for leaders who've already put in the unglamorous behind-the-scenes work of becoming adaptable when absolutely nobody was watching. The leaders who are going to be remembered from this era are the ones who completely reorganize their thinking to match this fragile new reality. It takes quiet, relentless preparation. The reality is, the work to build that kind of adaptability is available to anyone willing to put in the reps. But the bad news? The best time to start was probably last year. So we'll wrap up this explainer with one final, provocative question to leave you with. The next storm isn't on the calendar yet. Are you prepared?